All righty, so we're live, Jimmy. It's going to be a great show today, everybody. We've got Jimmy here. Um, Let me get my show going for John so he can hear it. Can you hear it now? Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Okay, he can hear it. Yay. Okay, everybody. So,
Yay.
yay. All right. I'm going to hide you for just a minute while I do the quick stats. And all right, everybody, we have 26 days of inventory. We have 3,353 available listings in our valley. We're selling as of the fourth day, which means the first 3 days of May, we've sold 85 homes a day. That will increase. Last year, the beginning of May started out kind of slow as well. We were doing 59 homes a day. And as you know, in April, we closed out about almost 130 homes a day. So things are still, let me see if that's the accurate number. Accurate number, 100 and, yeah, about 130. So anyway, we'll get back up there. This is just the beginning of the month. So single family homes, 475,000 and under. We listed 35 yesterday for a total of 706 single family homes, 475,000 and under. And if you're selling 85 a day, there's inventory out there. You just have to know how to get your buyer the deal. And we're going to talk about that another day. So anything else going on here exciting? Exciting is $1 Million Homes Plus went from 4.58 in 2021, and now we're up to 5.4, almost $5.5 million homes plus sold a day. That is never happened before. So that's an incredible statistic. And Jimmy, you can hear me, right? Okay. So one of the things that I want to talk about today is I have been for the last 3-4 days, Jimmy, I keep hearing from agents, like the sky is falling. And with the interest rates rising, you're on camera now. With the interest rates rising, I mean, they went up one basis, 1 point in 1 week. People are panicking that the sky is falling and what are we going to do? And I want to address that today because, and prepare everybody for tomorrow's show. It might be Friday because I think we have a class tomorrow, Jimmy, right? We have contracts tomorrow. Yeah, okay. We have contracts tomorrow. So the show I'm going to do Friday is with Housing Wire's. It's an interview that someone did with Housing Wire's Sarah Wheeler, who is the editor of Housing Wire. And it's about interest rates, inflation, the war, and how all this impacts us and where we're headed. And so I thought today, well, we need to talk about that. Because Las Vegas is a different market. I found out that Florida home prices have doubled. That's why we see people moving here from Florida. And I think people find out that Phoenix is too hot. Arizona's hot, it is. Anyway, and people move there, but then they move here because they want the low humidity and the warmth that we have, but not the hotness of Arizona, as I call it. But anyway, Jimmy, I wanted to just mention, and I want your opinion. I have agents coming to me like, oh, I'm just going to go buy leads. I can't deal with this market. I know. And I'm going to pay 50% and or whatever they're paying. I mean, and I'm like, don't do that. Farm. That is free. It's your time and you're building relationships and all those good things. And they say, yeah, but we don't know how to talk to the sellers. They don't know how to talk to the sellers because what's the seller going to do? The seller's going to, you can find a home for a seller, obviously, or we wouldn't be selling like last month, 130 homes a day. You can find homes. So it's important that people know how to tell the story.
Yes, that's the key right there.
there. How good are your stories and how good are your questions? Because you should lead with questions and then tell the story, but lead with questions, find out what they're thinking. When they say they don't know how to talk to people, then it's a study in asking the right questions.
Exactly. And to ask the right questions. And what I see is, I know that you've heard Tony Robbins, and he says, our problem is that we live in a state of fear. Our focus is fear. And our fear is we don't know how to tell the story. If we can have the confidence to tell the story, to get that we know the story, so we can tell the story, then we can execute the strategies of farming and over the long haul, build relationships and live by referral the rest of our lives. Now, that's a big sentence, and it's packed with probably hours of people gaining the knowledge and learning and practicing. Like someone said yesterday, well, I'm going to have to buy leads, and then I'm going to have to learn. They're going to give me a script. No, you don't need to do that, especially if you're a seasoned agent, and especially if you're a new agent. I don't know who buying leads is good for. I really don't. And a lot of the leads, no matter where you buy them from, are the same leads. So that company might say, I'm only giving these leads to, exclusive. They're exclusive to you. Well, then there's another company doing the same thing with the same leads. And that's what people don't understand.
Right, because those leads are not just going one place. Those leads are going all over. So everybody's catching those leads. They might be exclusive to you from that platform, but they're not exclusive on the internet.
Yes. So, having said that, I created this chart, and let's see. Of course, we can't make the chart bigger than us because I can't move myself. I'm going to hide you for a minute. Can you see the chart? Okay. So what I did is I went back to 2012, and from 2012 to 2022, here's the sales by year. Okay. And sales by year reflect inventory. Now, you can have as much inventory in the world, but if you're not selling all the inventory, what's the point? Does that make sense? So I put some check marks, and I said, okay, in 2012, we had in January 2,882 sales. The 2021 beat it, or was number two, was number two with almost 2,600 sales. So that's not a big difference, in my opinion. Then you come along with 2021 and 2022. Now, these are the biggest sales years. So the sky's not falling if in the past 10 years, last year and this year, we're selling more than we ever sold before. Does that make sense? Yes, and the other thing about this is, let's show this. Can you hear Jimmy? Okay, they can't hear you, so I'm going to have to put you back. Okay, Jimmy, say what you said again, because
I'm just saying we had a meltdown in 2008, 2009, 2010, and look at everybody came in 2012 and they were buying like crazy. Every single month in 2012, the first 4 months beat this year. And three out of four beat last year. So as busy as we were last year, we did more deals in 2012 because prices were so low that everybody's coming and buying these houses, everything they could get their hands on.
Yes, exactly. And let's put this here. If you go to 2012, you see the the median price was 149,000.
And at 149, people were buying them like crazy.
Yes. So I'm leading up to what's These are things people need to know to put the whole story together. What this chart shows that's so incredibly important is the equity that people have in their homes.
Right.
The sky is not going to fall. And what I learned from Housing Wire is that 40% of homeowners in the United States do not have a mortgage.
That's up 5% over 5 years ago. Used to be 35%. Now it's 40%. Interesting.
Interesting, yes. So 40% of the USA has no mortgage. And I don't have the numbers, but I am going to ask Applied Analysis for the numbers. I would imagine that Nevada, or especially Las Vegas, is higher.
Because of hedge funds buying houses and paying cash here? Why do you think it's going to be higher here?
That's number one. But number two, we are 30% of our population are retirees, and they, for the most part, pay cash. So I would think ours is higher than 40%. I'm going to find out, though. But the point is, the sky is not going to fall. Even with the interest rate, I think in November it was in the twos. That was the handle. And now we're up to 5%, right?
5.98, I heard yesterday. Almost 6.
Almost 6. But the sky's not going to fall with that, because people now have more equity when they sell to put more money down and still not have an increase, an astronomical increase in their payment.
Right, right.
So having said that, let me get my slides for today. All right. So look at the interest rates back in, I mean, this is like, how many decades since 01? Look where they were. They were way up at 8%.
Right.
And they have gone down and down and down. Look, a few spikes there when we had the housing bubble and then the housing crash. They went down, 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 spiked up a little bit. And in 2019, look where they were. Right? They were up there around 5%. And then they came down, and now they're headed back up again. The sky's not going to fall, even if they go up to 6% or even more. The sky's not going to fall because of this. And I think that people need to understand how to tell this story. The other thing about us here in Vegas is, if you look at the resale home prices, and again, I'm addressing the equity and the annual appreciation here in condos and single family homes. It's incredible. Look at that. I mean, I know you like charts. I like the numbers, but you like the charts, but it's still, they say the same thing, that the annual appreciation was what? What's that number? 26%. I mean, if you bought a $300,000 home, your home's worth $400,000. Yeah. That's what that means. So that's an incredible number. And I think that's why there's so many $1 million plus homes selling.
That, and I think people are, $1 million used to have kind of a price sticker shock. It doesn't anymore. It's $1 million.
It's $1 million. And look at our population. Our population has grown, and people are coming from California. What do they have? They have money. And I researched, the reason why I went to Housing Wire to do some research was I wanted to know why is Florida number 2? Well, Florida's number 2 because the prices there have doubled.
Wow.
So people are selling their homes in Florida and they're moving here.
When was the last time you had Pinky on the show from Naples?
Probably about a year ago. Yeah, but we still communicate. Yeah, I can get her on there to talk about that. And also there's a broker there that I'm very good friends with, David Searle. He owns a pretty big company in southern Florida, and he does a broker breakfast show every once in a while. So I've had him on my show. I might get him on the show one day. And then Washington, people were moving here from Washington. I would suspect, I don't know, taxes. I don't know the reason why. And Texas, I think because houses have appreciated there, it's the same issue. They want to move to a different climate. They want to retire someplace other than Texas. And then here's the other thing, the significant thing I was talking about earlier is Arizona. So those are the top 5 places where people move here from for different reasons. And I just think that our sky is not going to fall here. I don't think it's going to fall. And if you look at the population growth, that's the other thing that I wanted to comment on, is population. Our population continues to grow. I mean, and if you look over time, I mean, here in what was that, probably 03, my gosh, what a market that was, I remember. That's when we were just killing it in our company anyway. And I think Vegas was just amazing because everybody wanted to move here. And we had lots of new houses back then. But anyway, of course, we had our dip after the short sales and all that. People didn't move here. Now, because I think they didn't move here because of the stability. They weren't sure of the future. But then as time went on, people got stronger about their stability. And what's this, 78,000 in 2022 people moved here so far. That's in 4 months, Jimmy. How can that be? That's to me.
4 months? In 4 months?
Well, it says 2022, and this is from LVR, the market update by Applied Analysis.
It's not year over year? Is that year over year, or is that just 4 months?
I just think that's 4 months. But that's still, I think there's something wrong with that number. I don't know.
It's got to be year over year.
I hope so.
Because that will still be 6,000 a month.
I think that's realistic. Yeah.
Okay. So let's get 6,000 a month. How many new homes are we selling per month?
1,200.
Okay. So if there's 3 in a family and there's 6,000 moving here, we should be building 2,000 homes a month, and we're only building 1,200.
Yes.
So supply and demand.
Yes. And that's why the rents are going up, right? People can't buy a home, so they have to rent. And that's why investors continue to buy. Let's see, today the stats say that investors are still 38% of our sales. So that's huge. Let's see, this is our population growth over time. This is a different chart. And then how many housing units we've sold over time. It's just telling the story why this market the sky's not going to fall. And you have to believe in this story. And that's why we do stats every day, because the story isn't changing. The price is going up. The interest rates are going up, but people are still buying. That's the story.
Right.
And people are still moving here. And our population is still growing. So people are moving here, and the population growing tells one thing. People aren't leaving here. Right?
Right.
That's the story that tells. And then look at the personal.
When you see all this evidence and you still believe the sky is falling, that's the definition of delusional. You are delusional. If you're in real estate and you're not realistic, if you're not a realist, if you're delusional because the people around you are delusional, you've got to be the beacon of rationality. And you have all this evidence to show, look, this is to ignore this is ignorant. Well,
and I think, like, of the agents I've talked to, I think they don't believe it themselves. There's
definitely a lot of that going on. But I taught orientation yesterday with David Berg. There was 200 people in orientation. 225 signed up. 25 couldn't make it. There was 200 people there. All people brand new getting in real estate, because they see the opportunity. The people that are coming in the industry see the opportunity more than the people that are here, that are in the industry.
Well, one thing that people don't realize is the baby boomer. Well, there's some situations that are going on in the United States. Baby boomers aren't dying.
Right.
So,
right.
I mean, they're not dying, so they're keeping their houses.
Right.
But the millennials are coming into the house buying age, right?
The Gen Zs are. The Gen Zs.
Well,
Yeah.
those two, but the
Yeah.
millennials too right now, and the Gen Zs are right behind them.
Mhm.
So the market, the prices going up are not going to stop this market. It never has. If you look at the statistics, prices have always gone up, but we continue to sell houses because income goes up. There's more jobs that are coming online in Las Vegas. And they're not just the lower end jobs. There's a lot of companies moving here now because, I mean, I hear this a lot because I heard on, I don't know where it was the other day. Might have been that wasn't the news, something on the internet. But people can save 100 to 200,000 of their profits by moving to Nevada. And there's other states too, but people are moving out of the high tax states, and they're moving their businesses. Not only are people moving here, but businesses are moving here, and a lot of them are high tech. I mean, they're building the MGM Sphere downtown, and they're going to hire a lot of high tech people to run that place because that's state of the art music and audio. So, I want everybody to tell the story, the right story, with enthusiasm and belief that we are going to continue to thrive here. Maybe there'll be a correction, but the bubble's not going to burst. Now, it might burst in Ottawa, Canada, because those homes are just, I think a home was listed for $800,000 on Thursday, and by Sunday, it was in escrow for $1.1 million. That's ludicrous. That smells like our market back in 2004. But I don't see that here. And if somebody put 3% down a couple years ago, look at the equity they have now. That 3% turned into 30% equity.
Yeah.
There's just so many different things going on. I don't know who this is.
You told me planned farm database, right?
Yes.
That's the order. Planned farm database. And if you're giving the right message to your farm, then when they're ready, see, we talk about referrals. We want referrals from people that aren't licensed because we don't even have to pay a referral fee. How much referral fee do you pay? Well, are you licensed? No, then I don't want to see you in jail. I can't pay you a referral fee. We'll both go to jail. I don't want to visit you in jail. So I appreciate the referrals. And you know what? Let's go to dinner and let's have a nice time. And let's go to a show. Let's go somewhere together. I'm not going to give you tickets to the show. Let's go together. We're going out and I'm buying. But when you can get referrals from other agents, that's wonderful. But there's going to be a 30 to 35% referral. And you were telling me the other day, Tom Ferry said that the biggest part of our market as agents is we're going to be getting 30 to 40% of our business from referrals from other agents with a referral fee attached to them. Every referral I get from my farm, there's no referral. I can do 2 referrals from my farm or 3 referrals from other agents and make the same money.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And when you look here at this chart, the equity gain, it's amazing. I mean, we're number 2. I see California, and probably that's why so many people are moving here from Washington because they're taking their money out of there and moving it here. But so if you're going to do any type of referrals from other agents, I would look at those 3 states there around us.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I picked these slides. There was 92 slides that Applied Analysis created, and I picked these 7 or 8 because I think I could tell my story with these.
Right.
And I think that was my last slide. Yeah, we're back to there. Yes. And this tells a story too. And if you can look back in when the interest rates were, let's see, I'm gonna look here for, let's see, 2006, interest rates were 6-7%. And then if you look at the sales, let's see if I can get that back on the screen here. If you look at the sales, no, I don't go back that far. Oh no, I could, but I didn't. But anyway, we continue to sell homes. And I will tell everybody one more thing before we wrap it up today, Jimmy. And that is, for the first time that I can remember doing my shows, that Zillow is not number one. And that
Hmm.
is scary to me. Open Door is. And let me tell you, that tells me people aren't farming.
Mm-hmm.
Open Door can go in there and tell people, oh, and show them the equity that they have. That's what they're doing. And that's what I keep telling other agents to do. Do the CMAs for that particular 5 houses to the left and do it for each house, 15 houses, 5, 5, and 5, left, right, across the street. Do the CMAs for that house and just say to them, look, your house is now worth this much money. And I can save you this much money because Open Door is going to charge you this much, right?
Mm-hmm.
Houses sell in the same amount of time, whether it's Open Door buys them or they don't stay on the market long, so you're not going to be that inconvenienced. Okay. And that's what we need to start doing, is letting people know the equity they have. And here's the problem, everybody. The problem is that Open Door saying, oh, look, you got all this equity. I'm only going to charge you a couple $1,000s more to get your money faster.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I tell everybody, the reason why casinos give you chips is because that doesn't look like $100 bill.
Right.
It looks like a black chip.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an illusion. And that's the way people think your equity looks like. It's an illusion because you can't spend it.
Right.
So they take it. The casinos take it, and so do these iBuyer platforms. They take your money because it's illusional.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't have it. They're not taking it out of your bank account because you don't have it there yet.
Right.
So we've got to fight the iBuyers. That's what we have to do. And we have to start farming, and we have to quit buying leads. That's my rant for the day.
It's not a sustainable business model to buy leads. It's not sustainable, and farming is sustainable. I mean, I go all the way back to when I first got into business. The people that were farming were the ones that were successful. Betty Leal. I mean, just name after name after name from the olden days. They were farming and they were successful. I mean, Ginger Magleby in Spanish Trails. I mean, these people, Spanish Oak
Wendy
Country.
Weiner,
Yeah,
Napoli,
Wendy Weiner. Yeah.
and Napoli, and Vicki England, and Aaron Taylor today.
Right.
I mean, he's selling a house a day this year. And you know why? Because he farms. Aaron Taylor doesn't buy leads.
He farms his database. He farms his database.
He farms his database, right. And he started with nothing in 2008. And now he's selling a house a day because from his first listing, and you've heard me say this if you've watched me, his first listing that he got by door knocking. He listed the house, he sold the house, he had a client party, he got the names and phone numbers of all the new home buyers' friends, and that's how he started his database. And he was at the party meeting all those friends,
Mm-hmm.
and they did some giveaways and whatever. He probably spent his first commission on that party, but it started his business, and that's how he started, with one listing.
Mm-hmm.
Is it work? Does it take time? Yes, it does.
Well, success brings energy. He's part of the reason he's so energetic and personable is because he's succeeding at such a high level, and that gives you energy. That gives you a communicable, palpable feeling that people get from you when you have that kind of level of success. So that's what we need to succeed as frequently as possible. And a success is just having a conversation.
Yes. And for all the people, I love this, Jimmy, and I know you love it. We didn't come this far to only come this far.
Right.
Our population is growing. People have more equity. The prices are going to continue. I hate to tell you, but when I looked at the stats today, the median price is up to 500,000 in the first 4 days of May. Now that may, come down a little bit and it usually does, but I mean, that shows you where it's headed. Normally where it starts out is where it's going to end up in a month or two. So I mean, and so people are even going to have more equity. So you have more of a story to tell people, and don't wait to buy real estate and wait. Take your equity, bring your payment down to where you want it with the amount of down payment you do, regardless of the interest rate. And the market's going to continue to go up. And I don't think it's going to level off dramatically till about 2027, which is what Sarah Wheeler has said of Housing Wire, which is the show I'm going to show on Friday.
Great.
Because so I'm just kind of whetting everybody's appetite today with the story they can tell, and then they can listen to what the experts say.
Mm-hmm.
And
Good.
I listened to it, Jimmy, and I took what they said, went back to the applied analysis slides, and created it for Las Vegas real estate agents. And
I'm looking forward to it, and I guess I'll see you tomorrow in class. But
yes,
we got to work on our story. We got to work on how to tell it, and visuals help you tell the story. So thanks.
And the information helps you get over your fear.
Yeah.
Jimmy, we have a class tomorrow, and it is a contracts class. Everybody knows that you need 6 hours of contracts, not just 3. So show up here. Jimmy, you wrote this class this year. It's a new class, or in the last several months, and you make it relevant, and you keep people out of trouble, and you look like a professional when you understand all these disclosures and how they protect the consumers.
The takeaway piece from this class, what they walk away with in the class outline with this list of disclosures, I think that's going to surprise them. And if they keep that in their arsenal, it's really going to make them more professional. So it's not just the contracts, it's the skills.
It's the skills, right? And you can learn the skills.
Yep.
All righty.
You're going to post those charts, right? I'm going to post those charts you showed us.
Yes, I'm going to post them all. Mm-hmm.
Great,
yes,
great. I love it. Thanks.
All righty, everybody. We will see you tomorrow briefly, and then Friday we're going to have a rather long show. It'll be about 45 minutes to watch this interview with the Housing Wire people. So to help get your state of mind right, so you can tell your story and you can execute your strategy.